and going on. Everybody else talking about holding on, we paying off stuff. Oh, my God. Somebody need to give God some glory. I'm here to let you know, God said, because of your seed, he can ready to cancel some stuff. Let me read this. Let me read this. Okay, y'all there? See, I got to tell you this before I go there, though. Because, see, it's one thing Abram did before God made him Abraham. He had to stay in obedience. Obedience brings God best. The Bible says it's better to obey than to sacrifice. So what you need to do, somebody said, I got to stay in obedience. Somebody hindered you. You use a soul. Can nobody beat you sowing to beat you to the altar? Can nobody beat you blessing the man and woman of God? But somebody don't came to you, girl, you crazy, man, you crazy. And now your blessings don't slow down. You saying, how come I don't have this when I used to have this? Because you stopped doing what got you there. You can't make me rich. You can't make Pastor rich. If you ain't rich, you can't make me rich. You can bless me. I can bless you. But it's going to be a day I'm going to make you rich. And I'm waiting on it. Boy, God knows I can't wait to receive it. Watch this here. Well, I tell y'all to go. I didn't even hear nobody. I didn't hear nobody say, that's me, Pastor. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. You just looked at me and say, that's all right, though. I ain't got to give it to you. Somebody else will come in here and say, your pastor bless me. Watch this here. I want you to go, listen, go to Genesis 15:9. Genesis 15:9. I want to share something with you. I want to show you this because you need to get this. Genesis 15:9, he's talking to Abraham. He said unto him, take me and a heifer of 3 years old, and a she goat of 3 years old, and a ram 3 years old, and turtle doves, and a young pigeon, and take them. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another, but the bird divided he not. And when the fowls came up on the carcass, Abram drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, and on a great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed should be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that the nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And afterward shall they come out with great what? Substance. And then he told him, he said, and thou shalt go thy father in what? Peace. And thou shalt be what? Buried in a good old age. Now watch this. He told him he's going to live for a long time. But the thing is, God laid here and told him his seed going to be slaves. Talking about his son. Now we're back to the son. Abraham had to stay obedience to God. But in the top verse, God told Abram to do something. He told him to bring him something, didn't he? Did he tell him to bring him something? To me, it seemed like God was asking Abram for an offering. Oh, y'all ain't never heard it like that, have you? If I tell you to bring me what's in your pocket, that's offering, ain't it? So, Pastor, where you going with this? God told Abram to set Abram up to see would he bring his son to him. See, he would have brought Ishmael. You know why he would have brought Ishmael? Because Ishmael was the substitute. He wanted to know would he bring Isaac. Because it would have cost him something if he brought Isaac. It wouldn't have cost him nothing for buying Ishmael, because Ishmael was made by the second woman in the house, the one that didn't mean nothing. He wanted to know would he bring Isaac, the one that came out of his loins. Just like you, God want to know, would you give him your best? Y'all didn't get it. See, we sat here and always want a piece and give God something, but will you give God your best? He gave us his best with Jesus. Would you give him your best? Would you tell God today, God, whatever you want me to do, I'll give it to you. I told God, I said, I give you my best. Whatever you want from me. You spared my life over 20-something years ago, so many times. I wasn't even in your kingdom. I was out there in the world over 20 years ago, and God spared me, bullets going by my head. Listen, getting hit in the butt. I'm telling you, shot, all kind of stuff. But God spared me for such a time as this. He spared my life because he knew there was something in me. I'm talking to somebody today. He didn't spare your life just for you to sit up in here and look cute. He spared your life so you can make a difference for somebody else. So long we've been looking for it for ourselves. It's time for you to give somebody else something. Are you hearing me? Let's go somewhere. Go to Mark 10:17. Mark 10:17. Woo-wee. Somebody said, I'm ready now, Pastor. Because he wants you to pluck that stuff out. I said, he wants you to pluck that stuff out. Mark 10:17, he wants you to pluck that stuff out. See, when you survey that land, everything that ain't supposed to be in that ground when you plant, ask the people that plant them little gardens. Boy, I go home, I love it, man, when I go to Mississippi. That's where I was born at. Love it when I go there. My uncle still live on a plantation. Still grow all his vegetables and stuff. They still slaughter hogs. I don't eat hogs, though. I eat the cow. He's still doing it. If he wouldn't have had his stroke, he'll still be riding that $1 million tractor he had. And I said, Uncle, you like this? And he said, boy, you don't know how to live. He told me one time, he said, you know what? I said, well, Uncle, he said, worst thing ever happened to y'all. I should have never let your mama and them leave here. I said, what you mean? He said, when you went north, boy, you just got lazy. He said, y'all don't know nothing about no life. Everything you want on a platter. He said, because I told my aunt, I said, hey, I'm ready to eat. He told me, he said, come here. I said, what's up? He said, don't you ever tell my wife you ready to eat. I said, hey, hold on now. I'm a visitor. He said, she don't belong to you. You want to eat? Get your butt out there in that field and pick what you want. I had some old new cowboy boots on. That was years ago. Somebody said about 25 years ago. I had turned into a black cowboy. Couldn't ride no horse, but I was a black cowboy. And so he said, you better go wade that mud if you want to eat. I went out there and said, Pastor, what this got to do with the sermon? Because my mind going back how he had to cultivate that land in order for me to go pick them collard greens I wanted to eat that day. The seed that he planted, I went and picked collard greens. I went and picked sweet potatoes. I even picked out me some beans out there. Some lima beans. And didn't even like them, but I wanted them anyway. I had to pick my whole meal out. Y'all ain't talking to me. I said I had to pick my whole meal out. I picked it out. And I said, here you go, Aunt T. You know what she said? Listen what she said. She said, okay. He said, what I tell you? She going to show you how to clean them greens. I said, man, I'm not cleaning no greens. He said, well, you won't eat? I got right on over there. I said, is this good, Aunt T? She said, yeah. He taught his kids how to survive. Pastor, what you trying to tell us? I'm trying to teach y'all how to survive. Get your seed and plant it in the ground where it's going to fertilize. See, a lot of people tell you, how many of y'all heard that the ground fertilized your seed? You heard that, didn't you? The ground will fertilize your seed. Watch this here. How many of y'all know your seed fertilized the ground? Because without your seed going in the ground ain't got nothing to fertilize. Oh. And so I'm trying to get you to see. See, a lot of people don't know. They say, how you get to where you at? I sold my way, me and my wife. How did you get that pretty wife? I sold for her. She didn't even know. Pastor, your seed did so much for you. I sold my seed. My mama had 2 Mason strokes, and they said she wasn't going to make it out of the last one. But I went in the bathroom at Preventer because of my seed, and I told God, you said you did it once, you will do it again. And she's living today. Some folks have light strokes and die. Don't mess with my seed. Watch this here. We talking about the rich young ruler. Let me sum this up before I can close today. Can I close today on y'all? Shoot. We talking about the rich young ruler. Because I just looked at some of y'all face when I'm talking about, see, there he go talking about money. See, that's your problem. In the recession, I'm going to share something with you, Genesis 26:11. When God told Isaac, the same seed that Abraham was sacrificed, preacher, the same seed, because he learned it from his forefather. He laid in and told him, in that year, in the famine, he sold his seed. But the Bible said the boy was so rich later on. Same year he got 100-fold. It said nothing about no 30. And it said nothing about no 60. It said 100-fold seed work. We got this church with seed, ain't that right? We had 4 members and got this church. Had 4 members in Champaign and bought a brand new van. Somebody say your seed will increase you. Shoot, your seed, man, your seed. Boy, I'm telling y'all, your seed is powerful. Your seed is powerful. He said, your seed, I'm telling you, man, your seed is so powerful, man. Listen, it increases, it profits you. Well, let's pick this up in verse 17. It's talking about the rich young ruler. He's talking about, and when he was going forth into the way, there came one running. The rich young ruler kneeled down to him and asked him, good master, what shall I do? What shall I do that I may inherit the eternal life? Sound like some of us. And Jesus said unto him, why callest me good? There is none good but one. That is God. Thou knowest the commandment. Do not commit adultery. Do not kill. Do not steal. Do not bear false witness. Defraud not. Honor thy father and mother. And he answered and said unto him, Master, all these I have observed from my youth. Then Jesus, beholding him, loved him and said unto him, one thing thou lackest. Look at your neighbor and say, one thing you lack. Ask them, do they want you to tell them? So you want me to tell you? He said, now, go your way. Sell whatsoever thou hast. Give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven. And come, take up the cross, and follow me. And the young ruler looked at him and was sad at that saying and went away grieved, for he had great possession. See, Pastor, what they got to do? Every time God asks you for your good, you walk away sad. But you forgot how you got it. You forgot how he kept you when you was in the hospital and you had cancer. And they told you you had 6 months to live, and now you've been living for 7 years. We forget how God bless us. Jesus didn't tell him to go sell everything he had. He told him go sell a portion of it and give to the poor. We have, as a church, as a nation, as a church, we do not take care of our communities no more. I remember when I was growing up, the church literally took care of the community. You had a need, you went to the church. They didn't have all these agencies. The church did it. You was hungry, they had food packed up in basement where you can come and get